Hi, my name is Beth, and I'm here from Yoga Pointe to guide you in a chair yoga class focused on being present and mindful. So find a chair that works for you and come to seated on it. If you have a strap nearby or some sort of belt or loop, you could grab that we can use later in the class to loop around the foot. It's not necessary. You can just extend your leg out straight when we come to that part, but if you would like to go and get that now, just pause the video. And then we'll all begin. So coming back to seated, we'll let hands rest down on your thighs. Let your feet root down into the earth as much as you can. Try to bring the knees out in front of the hips as much as your body will allow. And then bring a little firmness to the belly. Let the shoulders come over the hips and roll them back and down. We'll take one more big roll. Let them release down. Keep them here as you rest the hands on your thighs and come into this time to bring ourselves very present and mindful in our practice. You can keep the eyes open or you can close them here. And we'll focus on our breath. So just noticing your breath's movement. Just observing it with your mind. Again, deciding if you keep your eyes open or closed. You can change at any time, but with the eyes closed, sometimes we're able to shut out the distractions around us a little more. Maybe noises you hear, the energy from activity going around you. And simply bring your awareness very connected to the movement of your breath. Notice when you breathe in on your inhale. Notice when you breathe out on your exhale. And then we'll practice lengthening both sides of your breath. So try to breathe in a little bit more when you take your inhale. Try to release out a little more when you breathe out on your exhale. Notice the body's movement as you breathe. Notice how the connection to your breath may be slowing your mind down or just pulling your attention away from the things around you. That is what we call being very present and mindful. We'll take 2 more full rounds, maybe a little bit more as you breathe in, possibly releasing a little bit more on your exhale. We'll let the breath ease back to an easy state, just flowing in and out, but still keeping your mind connected. Open the eyes if you have them closed. And then we'll begin to connect to our physical body a little more. So we'll work into our feet a little bit just to wake them up. You can practice lifting both feet if that works for you. You can take one at a time and then switch out if you need to. You can hold onto the chair pad or sides of the chair if that helps you feel more steady. But just let the feet move around in circles. You can keep them as low to the ground as you'd like. The higher you lift them, a little bit more work into your core. Maybe they move in circles in the same direction. Make sure you go the opposite way. They may move towards each other or out to the sides from each other. And then bring them back to the center and point them forward. Stretch over the tops of the ankles. Flex them back to you, stretching through the back of the calves. You'll feel it, gastrocnemius, soleus, pointing them forward. So we need that range of motion for our ankle joint. We need to lubricate all the joints in our body so that they move more freely. Nice. We'll come back to center and scrunch and open. Curl the toes towards the middle of the foot and then spread them wide back towards you. Feel the feet muscles working, and then feel them stretching when you flex them back towards you. Great work. We'll keep them neutral, just lower them down here. A little work into the quads there too, right where we were headed. So we'll lift the right leg, see if we can get a little warmth in to the right quad. And then lower down here, lifting the leg of the left side on the left side. And then lowering down here. You probably feel, we'll lift the right again, the quadricep engaging, flex the toes back towards you, and the back of the leg stretching. Lowering down. And one more on the left. Nice. We'll lower down here and take some cat-cows to stretch through our abdominals and back. You may have to scoot a little bit forward on your chair here to take this. And then let the back round back. Let your chin come to your chest. You can hold on to your knees. You can hold on to the chair wherever you feel steady. And then breathe and come forward. Lift the chest, lift the gaze. That's what we call the direction you're looking. Feel the stretch in your throat over the chest into the low back. We'll round back. I'll turn to the side so you can see this a little bit more. You can round back as far as your upper back and spine will let you. And then breathe and come forward, chest forward, shoulders back, low back stretch. We'll take one more on each side, breathing out and breathing in. And then bring the shoulders back over hips. I'll turn back towards you, but you should feel that alignment with your shoulders over your hips, your knees about right out in front of your hips. And then we'll take a side bend. So let your right hand come down, lift your left arm up and reach over to the right as far as your left side body will let you. Just keeping your gaze forward, little stretch through the left side of the shoulder as well. And then inhale, lift up here, float the hand down. We'll breathe and lift the right arm. Ease as far over to the left as you feel steady. Press your right sit bone down, hold on where you need to. And then breathe and lift up here. Floating the hand down. We'll loosen through the shoulders again. So this time lift the shoulders to the ears and round them forward. Bring them all the way back and around. Same thing as with our movement into the ankle joint. Getting nice lubrication and full range of motion into the shoulder joint. Also stretching muscles that you feel along the way. And then we'll take them back. So lift them up to the ears, round them back and down. All the way up, back and down. Feel the heart center open when you draw them back. And feel it kind of close off and stretch the upper back when you bring them forward. Take one more all the way around. We'll lower them down. So make sure you feel steady here, hands on thighs or the chair, and we'll stretch through the neck a little bit. Check and see how far you can let the right ear ease towards the right shoulder. Might just be a little bit. You may be able to drop the shoulders down and let the head ease over further to stretch through the left side of the neck. Breathe in as you lift back to center. And practice dropping the chin slowly to the chest to stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale as you lift the head back up and drop very slowly the left ear to the left shoulder. This time stretching through the right side of the neck, right where you feel it, into the upper right side of the back. Breathing in as you lift up here. And so sort of like we did in our cow, see if you can draw the shoulders back and down and let the head ease back just a little bit to open up through the throat again. Tilting your head back as far as your body is inviting you to today. And then breathe and bring the ears back over the shoulders, the gaze back forward again. We'll work into the hands. So bring the arms forward, and same as we did before, move the hands around at the wrist joint. Again, they can be going in one direction, switch and go the opposite way. They may be coming in towards each other or out to the sides, just like you did with the feet. Take whatever movement you need. And then we'll bring them back to the middle and point the fingers down like we did with the feet, stretching over the top of the forearms, the wrist, flexing them back to stretch under the underside of the wrist, pointing them forward again and flexing them back. A little bit of shoulder work to keep our arms raised, just like it was leg work to keep our feet raised. And we'll bring them back neutral like we did it with the feet. Scrunch the fingers in like you're making a fist and then spread them back wide. Scrunching them in, feel the muscles working. When you spread them back, feel the stretch into the hands. We'll take one more on each side. Nice. We'll lower them slowly down here. We'll get a little bit more work into the quads again. So drop the shoulders down, warming the muscles up once again. Engage through the core. So a little firmness. If you can draw the navel in towards the spine and lift the right leg up, the toes flex back. Feel the right quad working, the back of the leg stretching. Breath in and out as we hold this a little bit longer and then lower down here. We'll extend the left leg out, flexing the toes back. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg, the work into the top, and then lowering down. We'll engage through the glutes, so squeeze them in. You feel yourself working and engaging them, and then relax them. You might kind of lift up on your chair, squeezing them in. Feel the muscles that are in there working, and then relax them. We'll squeeze them one more time. Remember, this is just a nice warm-up. And then relaxing them. And then for a little work into the abdominals, if you felt okay lifting both legs before, we can take both legs here. But if you need to just lift one at a time, that's perfectly fine. We'll lift up the right leg. You can stay there, switch out and lift the left, or engage through the core and add in lifting the left with, so both legs are out. You feel the quads working, the backs of legs stretching again, but the abdominals are having to work to let you lift up here. Draw the navel in, steady breath in and out, and slowly lower down. Very nice. Just breathing in and out here. We'll work into the arms a little more. So bring the arms out to the side. Breathe and lift them up. Bring the hands together and exhale as you bring the hands all the way down to heart center. Bring the arms out to the side, inhaling as you lift up. Breathe out the entire way down. We'll take a couple more, keeping that practice of being very present and mindful, checking to see if you can practice breathing in and out the nose. You can take the breath in and out the mouth if needed. And one half more, we'll say. Let's lift arms overhead here and keep them here. So a little bit of work you automatically feel into the shoulders, the triceps, to bring the arms overhead. Just as you were breathing steadily with the arms coming together and down, continue to let the breath float in and out here. Feel the muscles working, squeeze the biceps and triceps. And then we'll slowly turn the palms down, lower them down here. We'll take 3 more like this. Breathe and feel the upward moving energy. That energy we need to grow and move forward. Exhale and lower them. Feel the grounding energy, the energy that helps us to feel present and mindful, safe and secure. Inhaling as you lift up. Exhale down. And take one more. Those are deep breaths. Filling the lungs up completely and releasing every last drop as we exhale. Nice work. So we'll move into a little bit more strengthening and then stretching. You can stay here on your chair and take the same glute squeezes that we took earlier, or if you feel steady standing up, I'm going to turn my chair to the side. I'll let you come to the back of your chair, or if you're able and you don't have space to come behind your chair, just turning your chair around to the side, turning mine so that you have a good view from the side. So you see the shape of our chair. We all know the shape of the chair. We don't think about it a lot, but in yoga, there is a pose called Utkatasana in Sanskrit, which is chair pose. So we'll bring our palms down on our chair, engage through our core, and just bend at the knees a little bit. See what happens. When you bend the knees, the glutes typically have to engage. If at any time you need to straighten the legs, then you can do that. We'll practice bending and squeezing. You can check and see if you can bend them a little more. We want to try to keep the knees over the ankles. So feel steady with your chair and peek down, taking pressure off the knees and sending the work into the glutes, the hamstrings. We'll inhale and straighten if you haven't already. And we'll sit back one more time. So we're trying to create the shape of the chair. The hips level with the knees. We won't quite get them there. The shoulders over the hips, just as the chair has the chair back. We'll lift back up. Very nice. I'll let you stay facing the back of your chair, but I'm going to turn to the side so you can see how we can take our goddess pose. Practice turning your feet out at a little bit of an angle. So the right toes are in line with the ankle, but they're angled out slightly. The left toes are in line with the left ankle, but they're angled out. Check and see what your knees tell you feels right. And then holding onto your chair, facing it or side like I am, if that feels steady to you, we'll bend at the knees into a yoga pose. The yogis call goddess Devyasana. You can kind of see where the word diva came from. But feeling the work into the inner thigh adductors. They're working, they're warming, connecting your mind to that body part that's squeezing, but also to your breath. So breathing in and out, and then straighten the legs. Nice work. That's a lot of work. We'll come around to face the chair if you're not already, and then step back a little bit so that we can start to fold forward into our fold that stretches our legs. We were working so much. So you can stay lifted, gaze a little higher. If you feel like you can go further, you can bend the elbows or come further back from your chair to bring the shoulders more in line with the hips, the gaze down to the earth. It probably is your floor, but the yogis practice out in nature, so we like to refer to the ground as the earth, the ceiling as the sky. Feel the stretch in the back of legs here. Keep the knees a little bent. Feel the stretch into the back as well, maybe into the shoulders if you have the arms straighter, the upper back. Notice the breath. And then when you start to inhale, lift the torso up slowly. Try to breathe in the entire way up. We'll walk the feet in. Nice. We'll come around to seated again. Next time we might work into a little bit more of a balance pose. So turn your chair around if you had to turn yours in another direction and just come back onto your chair. This is where we'll use our strap if you have one handy, but you're welcome just to straighten your leg out straight. We want to stretch a little bit more through the calf that we were working. So looping the strap around the right foot, keeping a soft bend in the knee as you lift the leg a little straighter. It doesn't have to be completely straight, but we do want to flex the toes back towards us and not just letting the foot be floppy or point forward. So a little energy into the leg, protecting the hamstring. The shoulders relax down. The breath is flowing. You'll feel the stretch in the back of the calf muscle and the back of the hamstring. And then slowly lower the foot down here. We'll take that on the other side. So take the foot just around the ball of the foot, just beneath the toes if you're using the strap. If you're not using the strap, I'll show after we lift here. Lifting the left leg, flexing the toes back, but the knee is a little soft. And if you're not using the strap, just straighten the leg, flex the toes back towards you. Engage through the core, the shoulders over the hips, the shoulders relax down. Breath flowing in and out. Even our stretching poses can be very challenging. And then we'll slowly lower the leg down here. We'll try to stretch a little bit. You can place your strap aside if you had one. And we'll try to stretch a little bit into the outer hips. A little challenging, they get very tight. So you can practice bringing the left leg forward a little bit and letting the right ankle cross on top of the left. Just let the right knee fall out towards the side. Steady breath in and out, feeling the outer hip releasing and opening. If you're able to bring the leg up a little bit higher, you can cross the ankle on top of your thigh. Let the knee press down. Feel the opening through the outside of the hip. And then slowly slide the leg down. We'll stretch through the same leg's inner thigh. So bring the right knee out to the right a little bit, stretching through the right adductor we were using in the goddess. Your knee might be a little closer in. You may be able to get it further out, closer in line with the hip. Pretty deep stretch. And then bring the knee back to the center. Cross the right ankle on top of the left. You can stretch the right leg out straight with the left ankle crossed on top, or you might be able to bring the foot up higher on this side. Press the knee down. Breathe into the outside of the hip. And then slowly stretch the right leg out. Let the left leg slide down. And we'll practice stretching through the inner thigh of the left leg, bringing the left knee out to the left. Stretching and opening. And then draw the knee back to center here. We'll work into the shoulders. So stretching through the outside of the right shoulder, bring the right arm across the front and just place the left hand above the right elbow. And let the shoulder relax down. You decide if the wrist is more in line with the shoulder or if you have it down at an angle. Just check and see where you feel the stretch the best for the outside of the shoulder, wrapping around to the right upper back. Shoulders relax down. Breath in and out. Maybe a little bit more aware of your breath. And then we'll release down and work into the tricep. So bring the right hand behind you. Most elbows will be out further to the side, just holding onto the forearm or possibly working your hand just around the elbow to try to bring the elbow more in line with the shoulder. But be okay with it being out to the side until the tricep opens up a little bit more. And then we'll release down here. We'll take that on the opposite side. So draw the left arm across. Feel the opening through the left side of the shoulder into the upper left back. Again, deciding if the wrist is more in line with the shoulder or down more at an angle. The most important is to focus on your breath and keep the shoulders relaxed down. They tend to scrunch up towards our ears, sometimes with tension, sometimes just with our concentration and not focusing on being relaxed and at ease. And then bring the hand with the palm towards your back, slowly towards your back here. So the left hand comes down the back. The elbow tries to make its way over the shoulder, but it may be out pretty far, so you may just be holding onto the wrist, but feel the stretch through the tricep that runs between the shoulder and the elbow. And then we'll release down here. Very nice. Just take some shoulder rolls, roll them out, and we'll take one more interesting pose, our eagle arms. So take a breath in as you lift your arms overhead. And then cross the right arm under the left arm on top, and let the hands come wherever they can make their way to shoulders or the outside of arms. They may be able to sneak to the upper back. Let the elbows rest down. Just give yourself a hug for letting yourself take this time today. And you can stay right here. Just feel the arms lower and rise with each side of the breath. Or you can ease into our eagle arms by releasing away, keeping the left elbow deep down into the crook of the right, and practicing bringing the forearms closer together, maybe the tops of hands to touching, or just a little closer. And then the deepest version would be to bring your left hand forward out to the left and bring the palms together. But this is pretty deep. Always something to work towards, and you could just be hugging shoulders. Release here, unwind the arms. Feel that extra space, but know that we need to take that on the other side for balance. So we'll breathe and lift the arms overhead and cross the left arm under the right. Reach back for shoulder blades, let the elbows rest down. And once again, decide if you work towards forearms together or if it's there for you, palms together in our Eagle Gardasana arms. Feel the stretch into the upper back, the upper right shoulder. So this is one where I say, I don't promise not to get you into a pretzel, but I do promise to get you out. So we'll release out very slowly. You might just be lifting hands away from upper back. You may be releasing here, letting the arms come completely down. And then we'll begin our Shavasana. So we'll take our Shavasana in our chair. It's just our last couple of minutes of class to really let the physical and emotional benefits of your practice soak in. So letting hands rest on thighs, shoulders relax down, feet are on the earth, eyes are open or closed. Just keeping yourself mindful and present in your practice. Maybe you notice a little energy in the body around the joints that we were working, the muscles. And maybe you notice the mind has slowed and calmed down. Just let yourself take this last minute to practice bringing the body even more still and relaxed. And the same with the mind. Noticing the breath as you breathe in. Noticing it as you release it. You're welcome to stay here a little longer if you choose. You can open eyes now if you would like. And I just bring my hands together in what the yogis call Anjali Mudra, just to have a closing for our practice. So I bow to you saying Namaste, which basically means I bow to the soul, the spirit, the light, and all the good in you. Namaste, friends, and thank you for joining me.